I want to talk to you about becoming all that you want to be in 2025. This should be a year of excelling, a year of growth for all of us. So what I want to do is share with you something very simple. A lot of times when you see people on YouTube, talking about wealth and growth, they give you, these thoughts, these ideas that you feel are way beyond you. But I'm giving you something today that the average person can do in 2025 and find growth in it. Okay, so behind me here, you see somewhat of a chart, and I'm listing on your left side and my right, bad debt and good debt. What do I consider bad debt? Now, I know we all have, these debts that are listed on the bad debt. Your car, your clothes, your travel, jewelry, credit card debt. We all have those things. But my point in sharing this with you is so that you don't allow this to be the bulk of what you do, that you don't focus on these items. We want to minimize car debt, clothing, travel, credit card debt. We want to minimize these things the best that we can. Now, what we want to do is put our money into what I consider to be good debt. Good debt would be putting money into stock market, real estate, a business, commodities. What are commodities? You hear that term. Commodities are things like silver, gold, cattle. There's a whole lot of things out there that are considered commodities, but the easiest ones that we're most familiar with would be like silver and gold, buying, gold coins, silver coins, things like that. Those are things that actually grow in value. So good debt versus bad debt. And again, I know we have these debts, we have the bad debts, but we cannot allow ourselves to get deep. And we have to be intentional about investing in the good debt. Now, let's go to the example. This is my example to show you that you can invest in these things. You can create the good debt. In this example, and this is actually something that a friend of mine did, so it's possible. He did this in 2023, and you can do it too. We're talking about just $1,000 of stocks. You invest in, and do some research on this. And let me say, I am not an advisor. I'm not a stock advisor. I'm not a financial advisor. So don't take my advice. Do your research. I'm just giving you an example of what can or what has been done. So my friend bought $1,000 of stocks. He invested in an index fund from the S&P. So do some research, S&P and an index fund. He put $1,000. Well, now the S&P grew by 23% in 2024. So right now he's sitting on $230 profit because of his $1,000 investment. I know you're saying $230 is not a lot of money, but you could have spent $1,000 on some shoes or car payments. What if you had invested it in stocks? You'd still have your $1,000 plus a $230 profit. Next, he has a home. His home, let's say it's valued at $300,000. Well, in most states, in the average state, some states more, and this was a low year. 2024 was a low year for home values to appreciate. They didn't go up too much. There were some years when real estate went up 16, 17%. But this year, on an average, 4.3%. So if you had a home, he had a home worth $300,000, it went up by 4.3%. He has an additional $12,000 in his net worth, an additional $12,000 in value in his property simply because he owned a home. Next, he had a business. He had a Turo business. One car, he invested $10,000 in purchasing this car. And by no means am I saying for you to go out and get in a Turo business to buy a car, but I'm just giving you an example. Whatever it is that you may be into, it might be hair, it might be, perfumes, lipstick, a grocery store, whatever it is, a business is a great way of generating income. $10,000 investment in his Turo business, it went up by 100%. He made $10,000 off of one car because of that investment. $10,000. And then lastly, he bought $1,000 of silver in 2024. Well, silver went up by 21% in 2024. He has a gain of $210 in that $1,000 silver investment, 21%. Well, what if he had bought $10,000 worth of silver? He would then be sitting on $2,000 profit. You get the point. So in total, 230, 12,000, 10,000, and 210. He has a gain for 2023 of $22,400 off of simple investments that the average person can do. Does it mean taking one vacation a year versus taking 3 vacations in 2025 so that you can invest $1,000 in the stock market, so that you can buy a home, so that you could invest in some type of business, so that you can buy some silver, gold, or some other commodity, something that's going to grow in value? I think this is a nice profit, $22,000, and it has nothing to do with his regular job, his regular income. It's on top of everything else that he does. All right? So in 2025, I want you to look at your life and decide where you're going to spend your money. Are you going to spend your money on bad debt, or are you going to spend your money on good debt? The decision is yours, but you can thrive in 2025 if you make some sacrifices. Please like, subscribe, and be blessed.